Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Stefan is guilty, Xander is not, and Konstantin wants payback. Days in Our Lives Friday, February 23rd. Spoilers suggest that Xander Cook maintains he is innocent. Stefan Dimera seemed to be getting more and more guilty by the second. Is Konstantin Melionis going to have his comeuppance on John Black? Days of Our Lives spoilers indicate that Xander feels obligated and committed to establishing his innocence, not just for Sarah Horton and his kid, but also for himself. That evening, Xander went for a run, although he was attempting to deal with his sex-related issues. Xander has no desire to cause harm to anyone. Although Sarah and Justin Kyriakis accept Xander's innocence, Rafe Hernandez may not share their views. How many times, after all, has Xander professed his innocence while nevertheless being guilty as sin? Rafe is aware that Clyde Weston is involved, so will he give Xander the benefit of the doubt this time? As the days pass, Stefan appears to be getting suspiciouser and suspiciouser. Sadly, it appears that Stefan may have done more than even Ava is aware of, given both Stefan and Ava Vitali were made to work for Clyde. Why is Stefan going over and above to console Ava? What is it that Stefan is aware of that Ava is not? While Clyde calls Stefan, he always jumps while Ava is crying over Harris Michaels. Naturally, Harris is unconscious and might not be aware of what Ava is saying to him. Will Ava divulge anything that Stefan would prefer not for him to know? Is it possible that Stefan fired the gun on Harris at the loading dock? Konstantin Melionis is seeking retribution. It appears that Konstantin is in Salem for more than one purpose. At first, Konstantin traveled to Salem with the intention of obtaining Victor Kyriakis' money. The stakes are higher now since Konstantin is aware that John Black is the pawn. Will Konstantin be able to fulfill his dreams? Konstantin intends to utilize Steve and John Johnson to achieve his goals now that he is proficient with the pawn. Will Konstantin be successful, or will the truth eventually catch up with him and force him to leave Salem and Maggie Kyriakis behind? Will Maggie finally be able to see through Konstantin and let him go? Harris tested, Wendy's health crisis, Marlena versus Everett, and Stefan's panic. The Monday, February 26, 2024, spoilers for Days of Our Lives indicate that Harris Michaels is questioned by Rafe Hernandez. Stefan Dimera becomes alarmed when Harris awakens. Stephanie Johnson watches as Marlena Evans grills Everett Lynch. Wendy Shin also had a panic episode while being held captive. Everett Lynch versus Marlena Evans. According to Monday, February 20 SIXSDOL teasers, Everett is questioned. Marlena will question Everett about his history this time. Stephanie Johnson is keeping a close eye on Marlena and Everett's chat. Could it be that Everett actually has no memory of his time spent with Jada Hunter? Could it also be that Everett was a villain but that his trauma turned him into a hero? This has happened before with soaps, so it might happen again. Michaels Harris took a quiz. Rafe questions Harris about the shooting at the hospital. Under Clyde Weston's orders, Stefan shot Harris, but the detective lived. Now that Harris is awake, what will he say to Rafe? To keep Ava Vitali safe, will Harris give Rafe the real truth or a lie? According to spoilers for Monday, February 20 SIXS episode of Days of Our Lives, Wendy and Tripp Johnson will remain detained. This would be the worst possible moment for a health crisis, while imprisoned inside that enormous metal vault. But that's precisely what occurs. Wendy ultimately experiences a severe panic attack. What is Tripp going to do about Wendy's panic attack? Despite his reputation for remaining composed in stressful situations, Tripp has boundaries. Tripp was clearly on the verge of losing it following the double kidnapping, as seen by his expression. Fans may also anticipate that Ava will be ecstatic and glad that Harris has awakened from his coma on Monday, February 26. But Stefan will be clearly anxious. Maybe Ava will notice this and ask Stefan a question. It is hinted that Clyde would send Stefan to Harris's sick room to complete the task next week. But will Stefan be able to genuinely follow through on it? What storyline on Monday, February 26th, are you most excited to see? Regarding Tripp, Wendy, Ava, Harris, and Stefan, what are your predictions? What lies ahead for Everett, Marlena, Stephanie, and the other Salem citizens? Harris's shocking shooter was just revealed on Days of Our Lives, but there's one more mystery that might change the course of events. Stephen then fired at Harris. Although he has used some dubious tactics in the past, cold-blooded murder seems like a leap. He twice fired shots into Harris's chest. Things is not like he was merely trying to make things look good, that is deadly in most situations. Since it's daylight, Stephen can still get away with this. All he needs to do is look at the background of the man he's framing, Xander, for evidence. Which you can accomplish with our gallery of Xander photos. However, it seemed to be going too far. It's one thing for Clyde to run drugs, but when he was ordered to kill a police officer, he had to have an alternative plan. Obtain Gobby's protection. To gain time, have Harris pretend to be dead. I'm not sure, but there might have been additional choices. Will Stephen now eliminate Harris before the policeman can report him, or will this occur when he ultimately determines things has gone too far? The main issue I have with this plot is that nobody seems to know how to handle Clyde. Although he has never been my favorite villain, the show has done a respectable job of crafting him into a terrifying supervillain who is terrorizing a significant portion of Salem. And now that Tripp has been abducted, Steve and John are also involved. However, in order to ascribe that amount of menace, you still have to make some logical leaps. Theoretically, Clyde was involved with some affluent, influential, and cunning individuals. I'm hoping for one more twist, perhaps related to the Horton fire, because of this. That concludes this riddle. Officer Goldman seemed to be the most likely perpetrator for going after Lucas after Stephen shot Harris. Who set the fire yet to be determined? Who are Clyde's surviving cronies or accomplices? To be honest, I don't really know much about Days of Our Lives past. I believe I have stated that I grew up watching One Life to Live and The Young and the Restless in the 1980s. Nevertheless, I relished our Wednesday trip down memory lane with the Hortons. I was able to learn more about the Horton family history than I had before. The details revealed in Wednesday's episode regarding Tommy and Marie's alleged near marriage and Doug's marriage to Julie's mother hardly touched the tip of the iceberg of how outrageous these people really were. And for that reason, I sincerely hope that this and the time capsule Alice left behind are just the beginning of something truly exciting for the Hortons. It might coincide nicely with the show's 60th anniversary and take us back to the wackily intelligent family who founded the program. More about my opinions on that can be found here. Well, just in case we were still unsure, Steve and Jada both confirmed that Bobby and Everett are the same guy. However, considering that we have been waiting for this to release for some time, it really isn't that quick. We still don't get any answers from it. When Bobby and Stephanie first met, why did he introduce himself as Everett? Is he truly so forgetful, or does he truly know the truth, as Jada insisted upon seeing when she peered into his eyes? Has Bobby never been mentioned to Everett, or did his memories go during the coma? How could he have shaken Jada so violently? And does he have some sort of connection to Clyde and drugs? Whatever the case, I'm liking the narrative it's giving Jada and Stephanie. But really, Steph, flee and work this out on the outside. Usually, the alters and did stories are the evil personalities, but it would be amazing if he had been born Bobby and a wonderful guy. If he were assimilated, Everett's personality would be lost. Call it a moment of total recall. Alternatively, a Kate Howard/Connie Falconeri twist for GH fans.